Hi, Joe. You say we must call racism out straight away in your statement. I remember you calling out Shannon Gabriel in 2019 for a discriminatory remark on the cricket field. Looking back, was there ever an opportunity where you could have called out racism and didn't, that you regret?
I think when I look back now, no, I can't. I think the most important thing that we have to look at right now is how we move forward as a sport, how we move forward as a society as well. I think this is deeper than just cricket. I think what we need to do is address what's happened, and find ways of educating more, find ways of moving forward, and really looking at areas in which we as a sport and beyond that as well can really look to better better society and better the game.
Okay, let's go to Laura then at BBC, please.
Hi, Joe. I just wondered if this whole scandal engulfing Yorkshire has affected your pride as a Yorkshire player and perhaps made you consider your future there.
It's obviously deeply hurtful that it's happened at a club that I'm so close to, and it means so much for me to go and play for Yorkshire. In terms of my position, if you're not at the club, how can you make any change? How can you help move things forward? And as I said, I look forward to speaking to Lord Patel at some point in the future about how I can help move things forward. But that's my position on things, and we'll see how that happens in the future.
Okay, let's move to Tom Parminton, please, at Sky News.
Hello, Joe. You've been at this club since 2007. Can you say here today that you've never heard or experienced or been aware of any of the racism that other colleagues have talked about?
Not that I can recall. No, I can't. But the thing is, what I will say is that it's clear that things have happened at the club, and we have to make sure that we eradicate it, and we look to find ways of making sure that this never happens again in the sport, and as I said earlier, beyond that as well within society.
Okay, let's go to Steve Scott at ITV News.
Hello, Joe. I just wondered whether you had spoken to Azim Rafiq at all ever since he first spoke about the experiences he had at Yorkshire.
Steve, can I just say that we're not going to be able to talk about individuals? I said that from the outset, so we're going to have to move on, but happy to take any general questions.
Okay, sorry, in that case, Joe, so just to elaborate, the picture of Yorkshire County Cricket Club at the moment, embroiled in this racism scandal, it's not a culture that you recognise over your time there.
No, I can only speak from my own personal experiences. But like I said, the thing that's really disappointing is that this has happened, and that we have to find a way to move forward. We have to look at finding a way to educate as much as we can, and make sure that that these are hard learnings that we can eradicate from the sport, and make sure that moving forward as a county we really can make a difference in this area. I mentioned it in my statement. You look at the work that the current England teams have been doing over the last few years. It's something that we care deeply about, we're passionate about, and we really want to make a difference in. And I think this shouldn't just apply to Yorkshire. This should apply across the game. It should every county should be looking and find ways to eradicate racism from the sport. And I think it's really important that we look to do that.
Okay, we'll take two more before moving on. We're going to go to Rory Dollard and then Martin Ziegler to finish. Go ahead, Rory.
Thanks, Joe. Yesterday, the matter, as you know, has reached the Houses of Parliament. And yesterday, the Culture Minister said that anyone found guilty of racism, a slap on the wrists is not enough, and suggested that they should basically be removed from the game or not be picked anymore for their representative teams. Do you share that resolve that anyone found guilty should be pushed out, or do you think there's room for rehabilitation and education? How do you sort of sit on that one?
I think it's a very good question. I think that from my point of view, we all make mistakes, and there's racism is something that we completely have to eradicate that. And but I do think people deserve a second chance, and if they're willing to show, to accept that they've made a mistake and that they want to make change and they want to move forward, then I think that's really important as well. We're all human beings, and I think that's something that we have to remember within this, that of course people have been deeply hurt throughout this whole thing, and but ultimately we've got to find a way to move forward.
And the last question on this particular topic, Martin Ziegler, then we'll move back to James Cole to talk about Ashes preparation. Thank you. Go ahead, Martin. Are you there, Martin? Can't hear you. Not sure if you're on mute. Yeah, you're on mute at the moment. There we go.
Sorry, can you hear me now? Sorry.
Yeah, can hear you now, yeah.
Sorry, Joe, with the benefit of hindsight and looking retrospectively, do you feel that you did enough yourself to sort of keep an eye on what was happening at Yorkshire and looking out for people who might be having troubles around in this particular all these incidents which we've heard about? Or, I mean, did the things really just go completely over your head?
Like I said, I've spent a long time reflecting on on what's happened. I think more than anything, it's really important that we recognise what has happened. We make sure that moving forward, we never see this happen again. And whether it's at Yorkshire, whether it's in club cricket, whether it's in out in the street or whatever, we've got to find a way of confronting this and stopping it and making sure that absolutely we are getting rid of racism from society.
Okay.